Okay, I think we may be live. The start of streams is always a bit funky. Oh, yep, and we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Verse. Welcome to the channel. We are today gonna nightify a bunch of cities, and that doesn't mean that we're gonna declare them nights. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a bunch of cities requested actually in the Night Sky video, the Goodbye Night Sky episode 2 comments section. I asked you guys what cities do you want to see me turn into, basically go from modern day into the ancestral night sky, the sort of night sky that our grandparents and great grandparents, etc., grew up with. So this is my first live stream, so there might be a bit of hiccups here and there, and I might overly look at my monitor to make sure that it's still streaming. Let me just see if everything's working. Post in the comments if you can see me and if you can hear me, and if there's anyone out there. Let me quickly see if I can send a link here to my mom, who's watching in from a lovely place in the world. Oh, hello! I see a hello. Hello, Found the Lamb Sauce. It's good to meet you. Welcome to the video. There'll be a new video. Let me know when you see it. Great. Okay, cool. Well, let's just jump right into it. Let me switch to the screen capture here. Okay, so the way that this starts, the way that we take a city and make it turn into nighttime, for instance, this unreleased shot of New York City. Let me turn a couple layers on. Oops, that's not the right one. We're going to turn that on, and we're going to turn this on. Okay, so hopefully this isn't too dark. Let me actually add an adjustment layer just to make this a little bit brighter for the stream, because on my screen it's bright enough, but there we go. So you can see, of course, this is New York City, as you might have guessed. And there aren't a lot of stars out there. I mean, if I boost up the gain, there's a heck of a lot of stars, but it's not like gorgeous. It's not a primordial night sky. And part of this story about this Goodbye Night Sky is trying to figure out, like, imagine if somebody turned all the lights off in a city. Like, what are we missing? What do city folks not even know that they're missing? So if I now fast forward into this clip, now we have an ancestral night sky. So how the heck did I do this? This is going to be a VFX breakdown of how we actually do this shot. And I'm not just going to go in the After Effects session and show you all the layers. We're going to nightify a couple of cities, in particular, those cities that you guys requested in the comments. So with all of that out of the way, why don't we jump into it? So it all actually starts in Microsoft Flight Simulator, believe it or not. So I'm gonna head on over to this. So this is a screen capture that's being piped into my Mac right now from my PC, and I've got my keyboard here to control the controls. So the first place that was suggested, if I remember right, is Sydney. So let's go to Sydney, Australia. And we're going to just basically, I have a concept here of why don't we go to the Opera House and do a nice tracking shot beside the Opera House and then nightify it. So a couple of things to think about before we dive into it. At nighttime, the lighting on cities, at nighttime, lighting in general coming down from the sky is diffuse lighting. It's not hard lighting, right? For instance, I have a light right here and I have a piece of paper in front of it to make it diffuse. You can see the shadows on my hand are soft. Let me switch to this. Hold on one moment. I'm just having a bit of a technical difficulty here. Stand by. I'm really like destroying my internet right now by streaming, and I have Sidecar going on, and it's a bit of a mess. Give me one second. Oh boy, that wasn't supposed to happen. There we go. Okay, so you can see my hand, and there's soft shadows on it, like right here. If I take this piece of paper away, now all of a sudden the shadows are much harder. Soft, hard. And at nighttime, because there's no direct sunlight, obviously, the sky and all the stars are essentially giving you diffuse lighting. So in Flight Simulator, let's go back over there. In Flight Simulator, we need some way of doing that. And the way that I chose to do that is to just have daytime, but have it overcast. So you'll see how this all works in a second. Let's set Sydney International Airport as our departure. And then I'm going to set to overcast the skies. And I'm going to set the time to about like the middle of the day. So it's fully lit. It's just all the lighting on the ground is soft. And then we're going to fly. And now we have a few minutes to spare to wait. Honestly, Microsoft Flight Simulator takes ages to load. So if you guys have any questions already, if I'm making no sense at all, please let me know in the comments. Tell me if where you're watching from, and tell me if you can still see the stream. Let's see. Looks like we've got 6 viewers at this point. Hello to all 6 of you. I hope you're having a lovely Saturday, or potentially Sunday, depending on time zones and how time zones work. Okay, so we're waiting for Flight Simulator to load up. From India, oh my gosh. Well, we should do a city in India. If I recall correctly, we got a suggestion for a city in India. So maybe we'll do that later. From the lamb sauce, found the lamb sauce. Where would you like to see me turn into night, into ancestral night? Please let me know. So what's going on right now is we're loading Microsoft Flight Simulator in Sydney, Australia. And the whole idea here is we're going to capture some video flying past the Sydney Opera House, and then we're going to change the sky in post-production in After Effects so that it looks like it's like 5,000 years ago of a sky, or at least 100 years ago, basically a beautiful night sky, something that you don't actually see in Sydney. It's this idea of what would happen if we turned all the lights in a city off at the same time. What would we see? Cool. Okay, Delhi. We did Delhi in the main episode, so definitely go check that out. But I'm down to do it again for sure. Let me quickly pull up some of the comments from the video and just make sure I got a list here. So right now, what I know I want to do is Sydney, of course, we're here. And then we're going to do Jakarta, and then we'll do Amsterdam, and we'll see what other suggestions are out there. Okay, so step 1, we're in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm going to go to showcase mode, which is essentially like a drone. And let's just see that you guys can see that, making sure I'm not blowing anything. Yeah, it is crazy that you can do all this stuff from home. This is basically like traveling in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's like, travel, but you don't need to increase your risk of giving people COVID or getting COVID. So here's Sydney International, and if I remember right, I've never been to Sydney, but if I understand correctly, the Opera House is in this direction. So I'm going to go fly over this way, and we'll see if we can find the Opera House. The graphics in this game are insane. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but like, especially if you're like high up and sort of moving quickly, I mean, this is basically indistinguishable from reality. I just love it. I love it so much. So on the other hand, when you get close up, like these buildings, they look really kind of lackluster. I have a sense that that's not really what downtown Sydney looks like. But here's the Opera House. Voila! At least they got a model for that. Kind of beautiful model. Although, like, you know, there's simplicity. There's imperfections. So let's just try and frame a shot here. What about like, maybe something like this. The Opera House sort of kind of like that. Oh, that's a little too close to the water. And we'll just kind of fly in like shoo, like that. What do you guys think? Is that a good shot? Hopefully. Let me know if you think that the shot selection is lackluster. Let's like maybe we start in the trees a little bit. I don't know. I kind of like that. I like this. This is a good angle. Okay, I'm just gonna settle on it. So the way that I do this is I take a visual reference of what is in the shot when I start and what is in the shot when I end. So I'm gonna change the drone speed to fly very slowly, and I'm gonna look at that brick building over there, sort of an apartment building. How weird would it be if somebody who lived in that building was watching right now? That would be very strange. Okay, shot's good. Okay, cool. So thank you to Killian Thompson. I appreciate that. Thanks for letting me know. So let's start the shot there, and then I'm gonna move forward. Actually, let me hit record on my stream capture software now. Start recording, and I'm gonna move forward until that same brick building is out of frame. And now, okay, I'll give it a second, and then I'm gonna stop the recording. So that's just recorded a small clip, stream capturing. Oh, bumped the mic. Stream capturing directly out of the flight simulator. And now, let's change the time of day so that it's nighttime. Let's go later into the day. Isn't this game just absolutely incredible? It's like, who needs to go watch a sunset? I'll just watch it in Flight Simulator. So I'm going to put that same brick building in the exact same position it was a minute ago. Like right there when we start the camera movement. And then I'm going to make it nighttime. And so we see the sky glow and it's nighttime. The shot looks a lot worse during the nighttime, but whatever. We're just going to stick to it. So now let's do another. Let me move the mouse out of the shot. I'm going to do another recording once that little crosshair disappears. Okay, and record and move. And we're just going to take the exact same camera movement as if there was like a dolly, camera dolly moving. And there we go. And I'm going to let it go for a second, and I'm going to stop. And if I got those two shots close enough, we should be able to layer them on top of each other in After Effects. And then just transition between them willy-nilly. Given there's a lot of factors here that can go wrong for sure. But it kind of has worked for me in the past. So hopefully in this case, it'll work as well. So that's actually all we need from Flight Simulator. How do we get the stars, you might ask? Well, we get those from Space Engine. And because it takes ages to switch between Flight Simulator to Space Engine, I'm just going to stay in Flight Simulator and do all of the requested cities. And then we'll switch to Space Engine and take the images of the night sky, given the same time of day, the same day in the year, in fact, the same direction we're looking. So I'm going to have to find out from this point of view, are we looking northeast? Are we looking north, due north, south? roughly in what direction are we looking? And then we can align all of that in After Effects so that we get the most accurate shot. It's kind of overkill, yes. I could just put like a bunch of fake stars up there, but that's not how I roll. So actually, if some of you want to do a little bit of homework, no pressure, but if somebody wants to look up what angle, from this angle looking toward the Opera House, what is our direction? Like, are we looking east? Are we looking southeast? I could look it up, but I want to introduce you guys. So, or I want to involve you guys. So, okay, so we've got a Phoenix, Arizona request as well. Keep that in mind. Thank you, Killian Thompson. I think I will do that as well. So, next up on the list, if I recall correctly, is, let's see, we had Sydney and then Jakarta, Indonesia. Very cool. I've never been to Jakarta either, but we're going to go there. So instead of flying to Jakarta from Sydney, which might be a very involved thing to do, I think what we're going to do is just go find Jakarta on the world map, place ourselves there, and take the footage. It's pretty freaking awesome to have this flight simulator tool, to just kind of go anywhere in the world and take footage. Okay, Mont Saint Hilaire. Ooh, it sounds like sounds French. I have a friend whose name is Saint Hilaire. That's kind of fun. A good friend, in fact. I'm really curious. I wonder if her name is named after that. Okay, so that was Australia. Let's move over to Jakarta. Now, I'm pretty good about world geography, but I'm not too good about Eastern Asia. So I think I'm just going to look it up. If I recall correctly, the airport identifier is Whiskey India Hotel Hotel. There it is. Halim International in Jakarta. So let's go there. And I think that's it. Are we still overcast? Let's see. Yes, we're still overcast, and I'll set the time of day to like noon again. Okay, cool. And we fly. Cool. All right, now we have a minute to wait. So, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a whiteboard, and I'm gonna write down all the places that we're gonna nightify. So, don't go anywhere. Give me 32 seconds. Okay, you know what? I'll just do whiteboard. Beautiful. Whiteboard. We have a whiteboard. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do. Let's do our list here. So we've done Sydney. Oh boy, my marker's dying. Not Sydney, California. Whoops. Sydney, Australia. Okay, Sydney, Australia. I hope that comes through on here. That doesn't look too good. You know what? Let's do a piece of paper. We can do better than this. Or maybe even just my iPad. Okay. I'll just do my iPad here. So I'll put it here. Make the brightness full. Procreate. Okay. So we're still waiting for Flight Simulator to load here. Let's go. Screen size. Okay, I really hope that that's visible. Let me see if I can find out. Oh boy. It's kind of visible. It's a little small. Maybe we can, I don't know. Whatever. Let's just write it. So Sydney. Let's get a bigger brush here. So marker, Sydney. And then Delhi. Anything? Am I saying Delhi completely wrong, by the way? It's very possible. Okay, we've got Nashville. You're going to be there in an hour. Wow. Okay. Eastern Europe, Latvia. Oh, cool. Wow, that's kind of bizarre. Here I am in California, and like people from all around the world are tuned in. This is really cool. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. So Nashville. Well, let me go in order because there's some people who were here earlier. So California, let's see, you can do Delhi, Phoenix. We also had a request for Amsterdam from my friend Zandre. Let me rewrite Sydney here because looks like we've got gameplay. Woohoo! Okay, ready to fly. So Sydney, Delhi, Phoenix. This is going to be our starting point, and then I'm going to write Amsterdam down here. Well, and then we're in Jakarta, so this list is getting very long. Let's do, since we're in Jakarta now, we'll just do Jakarta. Jakarta. All right, this is very confusing at this point, but let's just make this clear that this is in here. All right. Good enough. Let's see, where's a spot I can put this? Riga, Latvia. Okay, and the pronunciation is good. Good. Thank you very much. So I'm gonna put down here Riga, but honestly, I might not have time. But we'll see. We'll see. If this doesn't take too long, I think there might be room for it. So this is our list. Oh gosh, let's go to oh boy, let's go to camera mode. So this is our list. These are the places that we're gonna nightify. Pretty confusing, but let's see where we can put this. Maybe here. Is that clear enough? I don't know. That's probably a terrible idea. Let's go like that. We're currently doing Jakarta, so I'm going to zoom into Jakarta. Welcome to Jakarta. Okay. All right. So that just always messes with my brain. Let's go find something interesting in Jakarta. I mean, not to say that there's nothing interesting in Jakarta. I'm sure there's interesting things. I've just never been there, so it might be a little hard for me to find something. Anybody have suggestions? Wow, Mongolia, Montreal. Welcome. So we're trying to find, just a quick recap for our new viewers. What we're doing here is taking a small clip of video flying through a city, taking another clip at night, and then aligning the stars to exactly where they would be in the sky and placing the stars in so that you could imagine what would a city look like Jakarta, for instance, if there were no city lights. It's kind of just a thought experiment, and I wanted to show you how I did it in the main Night Sky episode. So I remember seeing this earlier. I did a little test run of Jakarta, and I thought this was pretty hilarious and also kind of sad, but it's important to note that Microsoft Flight Simulator has a very strong Western bias because it is developed by people in France, and it's using Bing data, which is, of course, Microsoft's data. And so things like national monuments in other countries that are not more westernized countries or more familiar in the Western sphere, national monuments are just not there. For instance, this is supposed to be the national monument in Jakarta. In fact, let me show you what it looks like. Maps. Let's go to Jakarta. Okay, there's the National Monument. Let's go to satellite. And you can see it's clearly a very large monument. It's like the Washington Monument in the US, roughly. It looks kind of similar. Flight Simulator just thinks that it's like a house or like some big, I don't know. It's just kind of sad. So I was going to do the National Monument, but I don't think that's going to work. Let's just do some roads here. Maybe this little river. Whoa. I've kind of rotated the camera. Nah, that's just weird. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is I like those mountains in the back, so I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Oh, not that much, just like this, and then we'll do a tracking shot, just a left-right tracking shot. So let me turn the camera speed down a lot. So there we go. So I'm gonna frame this so that this bridge here is just barely in the shot. So it's like this little cove that leads up to the bridge is just at the screen's edge. And then we're gonna hit record. So I'm gonna hit record, 1 second, 2 seconds, I'm gonna start moving. And now I'm gonna look on the left side of the screen, and when that building reaches its end, oh, maybe not that building. Let's do a different one. Oh, you know what? Abort mission. This mountain is obscured by clouds. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Let's try this again. And I'm gonna play God here for a moment. And I'm gonna increase the altitude of those clouds. This is just like the coolest thing I've ever used. I love it so much. Okay, we've got the shot framing exactly the same. I'm gonna increase the cloud tops to like really high and then change the coverage to like full. So essentially the sky is now a matte. It's just the same color. I'm gonna actually maybe increase their altitude a bit just because those mountains are kind of getting lost in the haze now. It's a bit of a balancing act. Let's turn down the scatter and turn up the altitude. So I want like a lot of contrast between those mountains and the clouds. I'm just kind of playing around with the cloud here. That I think is good. That's pretty good. That's like a very, very unrealistically thick cloud layer. I don't think that ever happens, but let's give this a go. So I'm gonna hit record. 1, 2, we start moving. And I'm gonna wait until basically something very distinct comes into frame on the left, or something very distinct comes out of frame on the right. So I like that building. So I'm gonna wait till that building goes out of frame, or maybe just the end of that building right there. So I just stopped. Okay. So I'm gonna take note of this. There's windows here and these windows here. That's my stopping point. I really hope I'll be able to see that in the nighttime. We'll see. So now I'm gonna go back to my starting point. I hope this isn't too dry or hopefully this is interesting. I'm just flabbergasted by Microsoft Flight Simulator. Like, what the heck? It's like an Earth simulator. They should just call it Microsoft Earth Simulator. That you can also fly airplanes in. Okay, and there we have night. Night has fallen on Jakarta. I wish there was a little less haze because I can't really see those mountains anymore. But maybe I can decrease the coverage of the clouds and just kind of make it a clear sky day. Let's see. Clear skies. Does that help? I mean, I still can't really see them. So be it. Okay, we're at our starting point here. Is that the right starting point? Yeah, that's the right starting point. And we're gonna hit record and go. Or, forgot my own rule. Let's try that again. 1, 2, go. Okay. So now we have all the city lights, same camera move, same camera movement, speed. Yay, it's fascinating. Fantastic. I'm glad that this is entertaining. It's entertaining for me, for sure. Okay, and stop. Oh, I overshot just the ever so slightliest. But we'll have a chunk in there where the cameras are moving at the same speed, so I think it'll be okay. And they're in the same position in space. And that's it for Jakarta. So I guess next up is Delhi. And I should mention, again, that's not it for Jakarta. We're still going to have to go find, what angle were we looking at toward the sky, and then match the stars up to that exact location in space. Okay. All right. So let's do that. Let's hustle. I'm going to increase the turnaround time really quickly here. So, as much as Microsoft Flight Sim will allow me. And now we go back. So we've done Sydney. We've got Sydney's. There's going to be 2 check marks. One for Flight Sim, which is going to be blue, and one for Space Engine, which is how we're going to get the stars. And that one will be some other color. We'll find out. Delhi. Next up is Delhi. So this one's for you. Found the lamb sauce. Let's go find Delhi. Now, Delhi, I do know where that is. I've never been there, but I believe this is Delhi. Is this not Delhi? No, this is definitely Delhi. So let's go to Gandhi International. Set as departure. Looks like it already set the time of day to be correct. We're overcast. And let's fly. Highly recommend Flight Simulator to anybody, regardless of whether you're interested in flight simulation or planes. Something I want to mention. This video is made possible by Phil's Coffee. It's not sponsored by Phil's Coffee, but this stream is made possible by Phil's Coffee. Yeah. Additionally, this stream is made possible by my Patreon supporters, of which I have 2, and I was very excited to see I got a new Patreon supporter this month after the Goodbye Night Sky Ep.2 was released. So definitely, if you want to support this channel in any way, and if you have a little extra pocket money, head on over to Patreon. But please don't feel obligated. Only if you've got a little extra and you want to support this channel. Okay, so quick recap for those who are just joining us. We're in Flight Simulator. We're about to land in New Delhi, India. Whoops. And then what we're going to do there is find something that's visually captivating and then take a clip of it. And later on, you'll see how we stitch together a shot taken during the daytime of an overcast sky, a shot taken during the nighttime with a clear sky, and a simulation of what would it look like if there were no, what would the sky look like in Delhi if there was no light pollution whatsoever. Now that's sort of confounded by the fact that Delhi does have a lot of air pollution in addition to light pollution. It's not just Rayleigh scattering that's going on, which is what I talk about in the episode 2. It's not just sky glow essentially happening because of the nitrogen molecules in the atmosphere scattering blue light back down to the ground. It's actually largely because of me scattering, which is the particulates in the atmosphere. Basically, dust will scatter light differently than the nitrogen will. So you know, this is clearly a clear day in Delhi. And I'm sure they do happen, but as I understand, India in general has a lot of dust pollution as well as just, you know, light pollution like any other city. Okay, so we're here in Delhi, and you know, I found this one big train station. It was like a central train station in Delhi previously for the main episode, and I think it was in this direction, but I'm not entirely sure. Found the lamb sauce. If you're still around, please let me know if there's anything in particular you'd like to capture and to nightify in the flight sim. I'm gonna just go this way. I think that's a football stadium down over here. There's another small airport here. That's interesting. I didn't know about that. Huh. And then here we go. This is like this very large park, which I believe is also kind of like the National Mall of India. So as in Washington, D.C. has this thing called the National Mall, which is like a bunch of big lawns. It's like a big park that leads up to the White House and the State Building or the Capitol Building. I kind of like this as a shot. This is one I did not get in the video. With that said, some of these buildings are regrettably two-dimensional. Like, I get the sense that that's not really how that building looks. But if we get high up enough, there's some really fascinating architecture here. And that, the way that road comes around. Is that a road or a river? Wow, that's a road. That's beautiful. This is a beautiful shot. I'm loving this. Okay, so maybe we start like this and we fly along like that. I like it. Do you like it? I'm gonna assume you like it. How would you nightify a very busy and bright city like Cairo, Egypt? Ooh, now that would be cool. Maybe we should go do that. Should we add one? I think we're gonna add one. The nightifying of any city is kind of the same process. Okay, found the lamb sauce likes this. So to Malek, yeah, it's essentially it's the same process I'm doing here. If it's a very bright city, yeah, I mean, honestly, Flight Simulator does do sky glow simulation, but it's not as potent as real life, as far as I can tell. So we may need to even add sky glow in After Effects when we end up there in a couple minutes. So, okay, so we're here. I'm gonna put this. This whatever that is. Is that like a stack of something? That white dot right at the bottom of the screen, and that's gonna be my reference to start. And then let's slow down the camera to like maybe 20% because this is gonna be a fast moving shot. So taking camera or the mouse off screen, and you know what? Before we do that, the sky is a little bit too uncontrasty. There's too much light on that side of the screen and too much dark on that side of the screen. I want the screen to, or the sky to be completely homogeneous. Unrealistically so, in fact. So I'm going to make this ridiculous cloud layer. There we go. So now there's a clear color contrast between the sky and the ground. And that's even better. Look at that. Gorgeous. Okay, let's get ready to record. And 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, go. Off we go. All right. Ooh, the famous intersection in Tokyo. Now that would be cool. That would be cool. The tricky thing is there's no people simulated in Flight Simulator. So it would just be like an empty intersection, maybe with some AI cars going by. Oh man, this shot, this is lovely. I'm just gonna keep it barreling forward until maybe the end of this line. This is so nice. That building in the bottom left, what is that? That's fascinating. It's like the Pentagon, but it's a circle. The circle gone. I don't know. I feel very ignorant of India, to be honest, but I'm learning and I'm very curious. I'd love to go to India someday. Okay, this coming up, this intersection on the bottom of the screen, that's where I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop it in the middle of the intersection and stop. Cool. I'm going to stop the recording and then let's fly back and let's do the same thing again at nighttime. So let's turn the earth over. Let's make it like midnight. There we go. It's midnight. I should take note that pretty much all of these renderings I'm doing are today, like astronomically speaking. So when we go to Space Engine, what we'll do is we'll set the time and date to exactly today, and we'll change. We'll basically make it midnight and pause time. That's a whole nother thing. We'll get there. Yeah. So one thing that about the Tokyo intersection to George Wackerbauer. Whoa, we got it. I think Flight Simulator froze. Oh no, we're good. Whew. Scary. About that Tokyo intersection, something I did in the Night Sky video in Goodbye Night Sky Ep.2 is I took real footage that I took on top of this hill in San Francisco called Bernal Hill. And give me 1 minute. I just need to think here. We're going to set this to daytime again, just so I can see my starting point. There we go. So I took that real footage, that real time lapse where there's real cars and people moving around and the actual city is alive. And record 1, 2, go. Off we go. Oh no, the mouse is on the screen. Dang it. Let's try that again. Abort. Okay, let's move the mouse off the screen. You can see how dubious this process really is, but 1, 2, go. Okay, so in that case, I basically just flew the camera in Microsoft Flight Simulator to the exact position where I had taken that time lapse, and I set the time and day to the exact same time and day. And I actually discovered a couple of things. The first thing is it's surprisingly hard to match a camera angle to a real physical camera angle. I was able to get it within about, 1 or 2 degrees, maybe half degree, in terms of like the position of the camera and where the mountains were and everything, and the zoom level of the camera as well. But now I can't remember which intersection I stopped at. I think it was this coming up. Yeah, it's this next one. The tricky thing about that was the stars in Flight Simulator, I'm pretty sure are incorrect. And stop. There we go. So like, let me quickly stop recording here. Cool, we have stopped recording. Let me show you guys something. And I've never talked about this, but I think it's pretty fascinating. Let's go to clear skies and let's tilt the camera upward. It's kind of dark. It's probably too dark to tell, but the stars in Microsoft Flight Simulator are not correct. I've tried about 4 times to line up the stars in Flight Simulator with the stars in Space Engine, and same time of day, and I just can't get them to line up. So either the Flight Simulator developers are not using an ellipsoid model of the Earth, because the Earth is not a sphere. The Earth is an ellipsoid. And if you don't model that, the stars are going to be in the wrong positions by just a hair, just enough to matter. Also, while I'm talking about this, I'm just going to quit. Thank you to Found the Lamp Sauce for this suggestion about Delhi. I'm actually more excited about this shot than I am about the one that made it into the final video. Let's go to the main menu. And next up is Phoenix, Arizona, the other side of the world. To wrap up on what I was just saying, the stars don't line up, and it's either because Flight Simulator does not model the Earth as an ellipsoid, which I think is unlikely. I think it's more likely that they do model it as an ellipsoid. What's more likely is that the developers of Flight Simulator aren't astronomers, and they put the celestial North Pole at the Earth's North Pole. So essentially they put the galactic North Pole at the Earth's North Pole. But that's not right, because Earth is tilted at a 23.5 degree angle to the ecliptic. So essentially, because of the Earth's tilt, the stars are in completely different positions by 23 degrees. That might make no sense to you. If it makes sense to you, I'm glad. I wish I could do a better job of explaining that kind of thing with my hands, but it's kind of a complex topic. So let's head over to Arizona now. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that Flight Sim, I gotta hit up Asobo Studios and tell them, hey, like, pretty sure you didn't get the stars right. I would be honored if you got them right. Okay, so Phoenix Sky Harbor. Let's go. Off we go to Phoenix. I didn't set any weather. I probably should have, but so be it. And now as that loads, I want to tell you guys something pretty special, pretty exciting to me. Currently, I'm sitting on a lot of very exciting footage for the next episode. I'm going to not reveal what that next episode of Goodbye Night Sky is quite about just yet, because I want it to stay a surprise. But this might tell you a lot about it. I have 2 interviews coming up. Actually, they've already been conducted, but to showcase in this next video. The first one is with Becky Smethurst, the astrophysicist at Oxford University. And yeah, super awesome. I've been a fan of her channel for literally years. I used to show her videos to my classes when I used to teach. The other interview I have is with Tim Dodd, the everyday astronaut. He's a super cool guy, and we've actually met a few times in real life. And a SpaceX nerd and spaceflight nerd. We talked about, well, I guess you'll have to see what we talked about. Coming later today is going to be a 30-second-ish teaser for the next episode. I got the sense that at the end of the previous video, it may have been a little bit confusing what I was talking about, what I was hinting at, in that somebody thought that I was saying that light pollution is going to cause an asteroid to hit us, which they thought was rather ignorant. And that would be an ignorant statement. More exciting and terrifying is that there's something else. There's a very pressing concern for astronomy on the horizon and coming over the horizon. So stay tuned for that. There's going to be a 30-second-ish trailer later today. And I'm about to release the full interviews of Maya Grubachik, who, I always say her last name wrong, and who was in the Night Sky video, the previous one. She talked about the ecology stuff. So if you're interested in that ecology stuff, and also what was the fate of the sea turtles? Do the sea turtles live on, or have they gone completely extinct? You should go check out that video, which will be going up in a few hours. As well, I'm going to release in podcast form the interview with Maurice O'Haillon, which I also think I'm saying his name wrong probably. And that interview was very interesting. I feel kind of sad that I didn't get to show more of it in the video, because the awe that he feels toward epidemiology is something that I've never experienced before. I never even thought of it before. So recommend checking that out. Okay, we're in Phoenix. Let's increase our drone speed if Flight Simulator doesn't crash in the meantime. Make sure everything's moving smoothly here. Hello from Nairobi, Kenya? What? That's crazy. Wow, welcome Zakaria Abdi. Abdi? Probably Abdi. Curious. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Welcome. I'm glad to have you here. Glad to have all of you here. We're in Phoenix, Arizona. Let's go find something really interesting to look at in Phoenix as the sky turns off. Ooh, look at those Rocky Mountains. I like it already. We've got some airplanes down below. This looks like Southwest. Wow. Very exciting. There's downtown. Who suggested Phoenix? Killian Thompson. Killian Thompson, if you're here, Killian, what would you like to see in Phoenix? What would be cool? I mean, this football stadium looks pretty exciting. Chase Field. Hopefully I don't get copyright strike. Wow, let's just land in Chase Field. What if we just... Oh my gosh, that's actually really impressive. I mean, the stadium seating is a little wonky, but that's cool. Maybe I should just take off from the baseball stadium. What do you guys think? Is that a terrible idea? Would that be fun? Let's see. I see a question from Malik Morris, and I'm going to get to that in a moment. What if we just do that? Oh, I've never done a vertical camera movement for this kind of thing. I think we're going to do it. Because at nighttime, this might not look as dodgy as it does right now. So let's decrease the drone speed. Okay. And do we have contrast between the buildings, the mountains, and the clouds? We do, but we don't over there. So I'm going to do the same sort of trick I did earlier. I'm going to make the cloud tops just outrageously high and make the coverage very high. And I think that's going to do it. Maybe we move up the clouds a little bit. Every time I do this, I just feel like a wizard, and it makes me very happy to just like change the weather like this. How nice would it be to just be able to do this? Okay, so I'm going to start hard on the ground. There's a little bit of grass in the way, so maybe I'll go forward. We'll start right here, looking like we're ready to bat. And then let's hit record. 1, 2. Oh, I moved forward. Old habits die hard. Hold on, let me try that again. Stop recording. Start recording. 1, 2, vertical. Okay, so we're moving up. Malek, I'm going to get to your question in a moment. The question is, you may have talked about this before, but what were you doing before YouTube, and why did you make the switch? It's a great question. It's really fun. Fun to talk about, actually. Okay, I'm going to go until that building is out of the shot in the bottom left. And boom! There we go. This is going to be spectacular, you guys. Guys and gals and thems. Stop recording. Okay, let's drop back down. So as we wait for the camera to move down, I'm going to address that question. So before YouTube, I was teaching, actually. I was teaching kids, ages roughly 8 to 16. And that was seriously like the most formative and amazing thing that I've ever done with my life. I honestly love teaching still, and that's kind of why I'm doing this live stream, because it's just a blast to talk to people and share knowledge and get excited about things together. And also, like, something that I think a lot of people don't recognize is, oh wow, hold up, hold that thought. This isn't going to work. When we went to nighttime, the whole stadium just completely disappeared. I mean, maybe we can merge the two shots so that, I don't know. It's like they turned the stadium lights off, not on. Oh, I didn't think of this. Oh, bummer. Well, let's do something else. Let's go find something else in Phoenix that's exciting. That was a bummer. I'm sorry. Let's do another vertical camera move because I was pretty excited about that. That building is just outrageously bright. What the heck is that? There's a parking lot here. I mean, again, if anybody knows of anything in Phoenix that's like particularly fascinating, please let me know. Ooh, this is kind of cool actually. I just connected some thoughts. So Phoenix is one of the only cities in the world, in fact, that has a night sky ordinance. So you may notice that many of these lights are orange. And now I don't know if Flight Simulator is actually simulating that, so maybe I shouldn't speak directly to that, but whoa. Let's start down here on the roads. Basically, oh, excuse me. The city of Phoenix has implemented certain color temperature lights, in particular high pressure sodium lights. And the reason is because there's an observatory nearby. I forget the name. Of the observatory, but it's a crucial observatory. And they petitioned, in fact, the whole city to get high pressure sodium lamps. And so basically that made it possible for that observatory to stay open. Now, if they had kept going with the implementation of LED lights, that observatory would no longer be, oh, whoops, I went the wrong direction, would no longer be open. So I'm going to start recording. 1, 2, go. This one's going to be like a fast-paced camera move. Okay, that's about as far as we can go. So I'm going to go until that road is kind of cut off. All right. This is going to be a really short one. I'm going to try and shorten them a little bit because I really want to get to the next part, which is the most exciting part for me. It's matching up the shots. Okay. Stop recording. And now let's go to daytime. Let's see. Okay, there it is. Beautiful contrast in the sky with the ground. And let's record. 1, 2, go. Oh, froze. Hopefully that'll work. And then I think I'm going to go until that road is like halfway cut off. Boom. We're kind of going into the clouds, so I don't know if that's going to work. But there's our Phoenix shot. Let me catch up on some thoughts here while we go back to the main menu. We're going to check off Phoenix. Somebody in the chat is asking for a briefing. So let me brief you on what's going on. Let's catch up. So first of all, welcome to Loopy Wing Rider. What we're doing is night-ifying cities. So we're making it so that it looks like a city, which normally would have like thousands of lights. All the lights were turned off, and we're replacing the sky with what the actual night sky would be. Okay, so let's go to the world map. And let's switch now to... Okay, thank you for watching Found the Lamp Sauce. Stay tuned for the... I won't remove the stream from my channel. So, and thank you to everybody for being here. This will be live later on. So certainly stay tuned if you want to see the process live and ask questions, but you can also watch it afterward. So where were we? We're going to go to Amsterdam next. So, and I was in the middle of answering a question. Amsterdam is here. There's Schiphol. Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. Let's go ahead and make that our departure. And then I'm going to make it daytime because otherwise I can't tell where I'm going with my drone. There we go. Okay, fly. So I was talking about why I made the switch to YouTube. And the reason I made the switch to YouTube was teaching is awesome. Teaching is fantastic, and it's something that I never want to stop doing. And I made that promise to myself as I was teaching kids. But teaching kids I felt like I could have a bigger impact than just teaching a couple kids at a time. I hoped that maybe something of what I could teach could be brought to a larger audience. And that way I might even learn more about the world that we live in, and the people that are in it, and the values and the history. The other thing is teaching, you don't get paid to write lesson plans. And when you make YouTube videos, you don't get paid to create the video, but you do get a payoff. And I think the payoff can be potentially more in the long run than teaching one class and maybe the students forget everything within a year. Hopefully not, but I don't know. I felt really strongly that I could have a larger impact. And in a way, I kind of already am. It's really exciting to be talking to people around the world. You know, we've had people from Kenya in here, Phoenix, Egypt, just like Austria. It's incredible. It's really bizarre and beautiful, and thank you for being here. This is indeed my first stream. So yeah, this is pretty pumped. I'm pretty pumped about this. I think this is going well, I hope. Okay, so what do we do now? Any other questions, I guess? Does anybody else have questions? As we wait for Microsoft Flight Simulator to bring us to Amsterdam. Hello from India. You know, it's cool. I have a lot of viewers from India, and I think it's because Veritasium has a lot of viewers from India. If you don't know, I'm a co-creator on the channel Veritasium. I help Derek make videos, and I do it full time, which is pretty fun and pretty fascinating. It's also a heck of a lot of work, especially when we're releasing like 5 videos in a month, like last month, in fact. But yeah, and graciously, Derek enjoyed the first episode of the Night Sky series and posted the episode on his channel and on Twitter, and that brought a lot of traffic my way, about 45,000 views. And I'm endlessly grateful that he did that, because now I have people to talk to. I was marveling at the fact that after I put up the first Night Sky video, I had like 30 views. It was just like very exciting within the first day to have 30, 50 views. Now, Amsterdam, here we are. I've been to Amsterdam before. In fact, I've been many times, a handful at least. And I know that there's this lovely train station right on the waterfront. I think it's Amsterdam Central, in fact. And there it is. Now, in real life, this big glass train station has Amsterdam written on it, but it doesn't, which is a little disappointing. Additionally, it appears Flight Simulator thinks that it's a road, not a train station. That's a little bit of a letdown, but look at that. The front of it is gorgeous. I think I'm going to slow down here the camera a little bit, and we can find a nice shot in Amsterdam. There's also this lovely park downtown, where the Van Gogh Museum is. Wow, look at that park. Oh my gosh. That is quite a jungle. This is the Van Gogh Museum. That circle-y building right here. This is a really lovely park. So I think I'm going to just do something that's very European and just stay low and show these buildings that are all very Dutch looking. I think they did a good job of trying to make this Dutch looking. So we'll start here, maybe a little higher up. You know what? We'll fly toward the Amsterdam Central Station. Because why not, right? I believe this is the Rijksmuseum, which is also a very cool museum. There's an airplane in the museum. And no clue how they got it in there. Dead stick landing or something. Okay, so I'm going to keep it at this speed just because I want like a nice fast camera move. We're going to frame the Van Gogh Museum just in the corner of the frame. Just, you know what? I'm going to slow down the camera a bit so I can get exactly the framing I want. There we go. Okay. There's that. Yeah, and then let's just roll. So 1, 2, go. Off we go. This one's going to be a little bit longer because I feel really excited about this shot. Let's see if we've got any questions. Wow, we've got a lot of new comments. Indian, but in New Zealand now. Well, welcome to New Zealand. Romania. Ah, yes. Got introduced from Derek. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate the comments, guys. I really appreciate this. Yay! Yeah, I mean, this next video coming up is, I think, going to, I don't know, for me it inspires similar levels of awe as that first video. And I hope you stick around for it. It'll be coming out at the full moon. Today's a new moon, by the way, in case you didn't know that. But yeah, the next episode of Verse is going to come out on the full moon. And it's a doozy. It is a very big topic. And it's also kind of terrifying. But it's also pretty awe-inspiring. And I think it pulls at the heart of this question of what happens to us as we transform the night sky. Okay, I'm going to keep going until the Amsterdam Central is just about to exit the shot. And there. Okay. All right. Now let's go back just to speed up things a little bit. We're going to fly pretty quickly. Whee! Back to the Van Gogh Museum. It's technically like Van Gogh because I'm an English speaker, but I don't know. Sometimes I just like saying things in the native way that they say it because, you know, makes people feel included. They're like, oh, that's how I say it. And I hope that's valuable. Oh, we're still recording, my bad. Okay. Oh, wait, what do I got to do? I'm losing myself now. This being like the 5th one we're doing, it's kind of easy to lose track of what we need to do. Okay, there we go. And now I will be ready to... Okay. 1, 2, go! Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, Microsoft Flight Simulator takes live data from Microsoft Maps and Bing Search and uses AI to interpret it. Yeah, it really is incredible. It does do a lot of misinterpretation, and that's kind of frustrating. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, they're trying to simulate the world. So I think people are being a little bit over dramatic about how bad it is. Like, oh, they didn't have my house in the simulator. I'm so sad. Yeah. Boop. There we go. Also, just to be clear to Atanu Sarkar, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about people in general. There was a lot of like uproar about how like different buildings didn't look right when the game first came out a few months ago. Okay, so we have Amsterdam. That's a check mark. And you know what? Riga. Riga is, where was Riga? I don't know where Riga is. Let's see. Does anybody remember where Riga was? For time's sake, I think we're going to have to skip Riga. And my apologies to the friend of the channel who requested it. But what we're going to do is quit Flight Simulator now and recreate each one of these scenes in Space Engine. And then we're going to put it all together in After Effects. So the place to start with that is, quitting Flight Simulator. So I'm just going to do Control-Shift-Escape and quit Flight Sim. Goodbye, Flight Sim. It's been nice knowing you. Okay. And now what we'll do is open up Space Engine. So if you guys don't know Space Engine, you should. It's an amazing spaceflight game. It's not really space flight. It's not quite a Kerbal Space Program, but it is a, astronomy planetarium simulator thing. It does automatic procedural generation of galaxies and, the known galaxies, and it also generates unknown galaxies beyond the limit of, where we can reach. So I'm going to hit continue here, and we're going to go into Space Engine. So Riga, my deepest apologies, but Riga is going to have to go off the list. Yeah. Goodbye, Riga. I don't even know where you are in the world. I forgot. I'm sorry. But, and I can't seem to find your comment that requested it. Oh, Latvia. Ah, I see. My bad. Not today. I don't even know if you guys can see this. Hopefully it's not too small on the screen. Okay, so next up, we're going to start in Sydney. And here's Space Engine. And this is the Earth. Welcome, welcome, in case you haven't been here before. Let's switch to HDR mode so I can see where I'm going. There's HDR mode. Now, I believe Space Engine definitely costs money, just so you know. But it's not that expensive. The Pro version is a little more expensive, but... Okay, so Sydney, where is Sydney? Now, this is the issue because I have trouble remembering exactly where cities are. Let me make sure that I'm following track object. No. I need to make sure that I'm locked in rotation to the Earth. Well, I guess I will be when it rotates over. I'm going to speed up time enough so that Sydney is at nighttime. There we go. Now, I feel bad because I just went to Sydney, but I don't remember where it is. So I think we're going to have to do a quick Google search. Let's see here. Maps.google. So Sydney, Australia. Okay. Sydney is this town. It's sort of like on that part of the coastline. There it is. I had a feeling because it's like very, very bright. All right, let's fly in. In we go. And then if I do recall correctly, the Sydney Opera House was over here, which means that our shot was looking this way. Is that correct, or am I fooling myself? Was this the Opera House? I think we're going to have to look. Opera House, where are you? The Opera House is there, which is here, essentially. Okay, so I'm going to put the camera right down there where we were in the flight simulator. You know, it's not a perfect process, but it's close. It's pretty close. The ground here gets a little bit wonky because clearly it doesn't know anything about the terrain. Let me fly up a bit. Let's try and get that same angle. Okay, there we go. Now, what we're gonna do, God, look at that Milky Way. That's gorgeous. What we're gonna do is set the time of day to now and hit play. And then speed up time until... Oh, no, that's too fast. Too fast. I lost it. The controls in this game are sometimes a little bit wacky. So set to now. Okay, speed up time. So what we're doing is we're rotating the Earth around until nighttime. Okay, look at that. Ooh, gorgeous. Okay. And I think in particular, I want to set it to midnight. Although this is midnight universal time, so maybe not. Maybe I'll just say tonight's nighttime. Let's pause time. And we have basically our shot. I mean, this is the idea. The only thing to do here is change the photo mode to manual and increase the brightness a lot. The sun seems to have not been completely set, so let's go a little more forward in time, just tweak it a little bit so that the sun is a little lower on the horizon. It is summer in Australia right now, so it might not be possible to get rid of the sun's glow here. It's a good thing to note. So maybe we'll just point the camera up a little bit. I don't know. I think that should be fine. So we're in Space Engine now. And let me just recap for any new viewers. What we're doing is night-ifying cities. We've taken footage from Microsoft Flight Simulator of a bunch of cities: Sydney, Delhi, Phoenix, Amsterdam, and Jakarta. And what we're doing is now taking images of the night sky tonight, what they would see from the vantage point that we took the footage from. So I'm going to just fast forward a little bit into the night because I want to get that Milky Way. I would love to just get that Milky Way in the shot. That's just gorgeous. There. All right, cool. And now it's literally as easy as taking a screenshot. So snap a screenshot and then we have that. So I'm just going to name this, what is this? Why is that turning off? This is named Sydney. Sydney. Loveliness. Okay. And then let's go do the same thing in Delhi. So up we go out of the atmosphere. Just look at that. The visual accuracy of video games these days is just incredible. I mean, I don't think I needed to say that, honestly, because it's so, everybody knows that, but okay, so here's China and Japan. Let's speed up time. Let's get it to be nighttime in India. There's India. Let's freeze time. Boop. Okay, now we're gonna land in Delhi. Now, where did I take this shot from? That's the question. We took it, oh my gosh, you can see that road, I think. I think that circle right here is the road that was being my landmark when we were in Flight Sim. So let's just go ahead and do that. I'm going to assume, I think it was pointing northeast. Let's just make sure. Delhi. And there's the India gate. Okay, so this is what we were flying past. Okay, so it's more east than northeast. So let's fly back out and reassess. Accuracy is important here, folks. North looks like what? North looks like this. Okay, so then north looks like that across, which puts this east. Is there a bridge at the end of this, I guess, the end of this path that we were following? Because if there is, then I think we're in the right spot. Ah. Yeah, I think that was it. I think my original shot lineup was correct. So let's land. That is a very bright city. Genuinely very bright. Let's point the camera up. And we saw, let's see, Michael Schultz saw Adam open my task manager and was wondering what I was using it for. Well, it's kind of a secret. This is why I'm hesitating so much. Let me turn the brightness of the sky up here a bit. So, how much do I want to reveal of that? There is a very important simulation coming up in the next video. It is not a simulation that has seemingly ever been done before. To do this simulation, I had to go to extraordinary lengths. And in terms of time commitment, let me just name these files so I don't get completely confused. We have the night sky in Delhi. Let me head over to Phoenix. So that simulation is written in Python and OpenGL, and that's what I'm using Atom for. I'm creating a visual simulation not unlike Space Engine, but custom made for a very specific purpose because I couldn't seem to get any other tools to do it for me. Let's set time to now. I'll give you a little hint. It has something to do... Oh, what's too much of a hint? It has something to do with the next episode of Verse, the next episode of the Night Sky series. And it also has something to do with my interviewees in the next video. Becky Smethurst and Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. I wonder what it could be, you ask. Okay, I believe when we were in Phoenix, we were looking eastward, if I recall correctly. So I'm going to assume that that was the case. Ah, this is just so beautiful. I think we're going to be looking up toward Orion. Yeah, Orion and Betelgeuse, one of my favorite stars. Okay, so here's Phoenix. Let's go into the city. Let's land. And let's point the camera up until the glow of the city is no longer a factor. Okay, so we've got a little bit of the Orion constellation here. We've got Betelgeuse and Orion's belt. Very exciting. There's even Orion's nebula a little bit if you look closely enough. So we're going to take this image. Boop. Does anybody have any guesses? Does anybody have any guesses about what the next Night Sky video is about? Maybe you can help Michael Schultz guess. So this is in Phoenix. Okay, and now we're gonna, not 3, this is 2. We're gonna take off. And we're gonna land in Amsterdam. Now I think it's daytime, so now I have to reverse time. I do indeed have the time stone. The time ocarina. Is that how that works in that game? I forget. Probably making some stupid reference that I'm gonna get hated for. No. Okay, here's Amsterdam. Now, where in particular is Amsterdam? Now I'm a little confused. This is Amsterdam here, but where's the train station? Amsterdam. Let's see. We're going to... Okay, so it's kind of this big body of water, if I recall. Aha! So it's where this body of water kind of like swooshes. There's a river and it swooshes in. And at the peak of the swoosh is where the train station is. Okay. This is how I remember geography. I don't know if anybody else is like this, but it's how my brain works. So that's Belgium. There's the UK. Where is it? It must be this. I don't see any swishes, but maybe that little island can help me. There's like this little island here and a peninsula, and it's kind of at the crux of the peninsula. So the island's out here, and then the crux of the peninsula is here. Here it is. Okay, great. So something along the lines, plus or minus 30 degrees looks like this. There's our primordial night sky. And the beautiful thing about Space Engine is it even simulates air glow. So even when it's pure nighttime, the air glows, presumably from the stars light coming from above, and sometimes the moonlight. But even in a pure pristine night sky, you still get air glow, which is kind of interesting. Okay, taking an image. It's been written. This is number 3, Amsterdam. Okay, finally. I really wonder how long this stream has been going. And finally, what's our last city? Jakarta. I forgot about Jakarta because it was off to the side. Let's go find Jakarta again. Now, this is where my geography skills again get challenged, because growing up, I never needed to know where Jakarta was. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to know. Jakarta, Indonesia. Let's memorize. Where is Jakarta in the world? It's in between Australia and India, of course, because that's where Indonesia and Singapore are. Singapore, of course, being the most light polluted city in the world. So it's on this island. East Java. Cool. Over by East Java. All right. So let's see if we can find it. What's really fascinating about these images of light pollution, or of the city lights that they build this game with. Whoa! Those are fires. I was just looking at this of Australia, and I'm like, what are all those lights? Those are fires. This imagery must have been taken when there were a lot of those fires on the western side of Australia. That's crazy. Along the same lines, these sort of really orangey glows are not city lights, because you can see they're in the middle of the ocean. How would there be city lights in the middle of the ocean? Is that Atlantis? No, that's fishing boats off the coast of Indonesia. So they do a lot of fishing there, and similarly off the coast of Japan. And I believe this is Jakarta. Welcome to Jakarta, everybody. There, we have landed, and if I recall correctly, we were pointing... How are we pointing in Jakarta? We were pointing toward the mountains, which are sort of to the south. So I'm going to move around this way. There's the hills. Oh my gosh, those are the same hills we just saw in Flight Sim. These ones right here. So there we have it. Oh my gosh. I didn't expect that at all. This big cloud and this smaller cloud. Does anybody know what those are? Anybody? Okay, I'll tell you. That's the large Magellanic Cloud, and that's the small Magellanic Cloud. These are sister galaxies of the Milky Way. Previously believed to just be weird, fuzzy blobs in the sky that we can't quite make out. These are absolutely, essentially, satellite galaxies of the Milky Way. They're coming along for the ride of the Milky Way galaxy, our galaxy, flying through the universe. I think this Jakarta one might turn out to be the most spectacular of all of them. I'm very excited about this. So let's hit screenshot. And this is it. We're done. Now comes the really fun part. We're going to move all of this stuff onto an external hard drive, and we're going to stop the stream. No, I'm kidding. We're going to move it onto this external hard drive, all these screenshots from Space Engine, and then we're going to merge them. I'm going to bring that external hard drive over to my Mac, and we're going to merge them in After Effects. This is going to be very fun. So let's swap over to, not that, but After Effects. Let me plug in this hard drive. Rack through After Effects and try to build this composition as fast as possible. I really appreciate everybody's comments about astonishing visuals. It makes me really happy to see that. I do put a lot of effort into visuals. I think there's something special happens when you're seeing the thing as if it was actually there, or as if you were actually there. So I'm going to put my PC keyboard over here, And we can fire up After Effects here. So give me a second to catch up to your comments. I see a couple comments and a couple questions. As we copy over this footage onto my desktop, don't peek, don't peek. There's secrets in there. No, there's no secrets. Okay, images. There's all of our images. And drag these into... Drag these into After Effects. Oh my gosh, that's frustrating. Oh wow, why is it doing that? There we go. Okay. Okay. Here's our stream stuff. Create new composition. Actually, let's not do that quite yet. I want to make a new folder to put these in. Stream. Just give me 1 minute. Organization is key, folks. It's very key. So, and then I need to go find all that footage from the game capture library. So let's pull it in. I believe I called them all Night-ify or something along those lines. Let me answer some of your questions really quick as we transition into After Effects. Before we transition, because my friend Carly has come home, the infamous filmographer of the Night Sky series. So let me answer some of your questions really quick. So is Space Engine some alternative version of Stellarium, or does it just have several similarities? It has several similarities. Space Engine, you can fly anywhere in the galaxy, anywhere in the universe, in fact. So Space Engine is a little bit, let's say, more 3D. You can really go anywhere. Okay. Can someone explain to me what we're doing here? Aha, so Guayaba. What we're doing here is taking footage from Flight Simulator of different cities, like, for instance, here in New York. We're taking this footage, and we're night-ifying it. So we're turning it into essentially a primordial night sky. This is kind of like, what would it look like if New York just turned all their lights off all of a sudden? Let's see if there's any other questions here. Thank you, Dimitri. My hardware, so yeah, I don't do everything all on a Mac. As we get started with this comp here, and as I look for things, I'm going to explain the hardware that I do, that I use. Let's first import all this footage. So the hardware that I use, whoops, that's not right. The hardware that I use is a MacBook Pro, pretty much fully maxed out MacBook Pro. Don't tell Derek. Don't tell Derek, but I'm using the laptop that I use for Veritasium as well. It's a company laptop. No, I think he's completely fine with that, actually. Let's see here. You know what? I'm going to move all of this into the same folder. This is going to be a bit of a mess in terms of all this footage. I really wish that this could be a faster process, but alas, we will just keep going one thing at a time. So to answer the question of hardware, yeah, so this is a maxed out MacBook Pro. I could do a lot of this stuff without a maxed out MacBook Pro. In fact, I'm pretty sure that the new MacBooks that just came out can handle almost everything that I do, which is why I might buy one. Particularly because I edit in DaVinci Resolve, and DaVinci Resolve is optimized for Apple Silicon because they are sort of like best friends, Apple and and Blackmagic Design. So DaVinci Resolve works really well on a lot of platforms. My PC is actually like kind of a relatively old PC. I run a GTX 1060, I think, 6 gigabyte. That I bought a couple of years ago. It's sort of a lackluster machine. It can't do 4K anything pretty much because I think the maximum texture resolution supported is certainly a lot less than 4K. It's about, I think it's maybe 2K DCI. Okay, let's just keep drag and dropping. This is going to be a confusing next couple of minutes, but it's going to work. It's going to work. Just stick with me here. We're going to drop all this footage into the folder. There really must be a better way of doing this. If anybody thinks of a workflow improvement for me for this, although we're basically at the end now, so Nightify. Okay, done. Nightify. Let's drag all this footage now into the stream folder. File could not be found. All right, that's fine. I think I replaced it with a copy, so this is going to be an experience. Let me close this window. Give me 1 minute. Kind of melting over here in the sun. It's getting heated. Let's get going here. So let me switch to a mouse because I can't really work in After Effects without a handy dandy mouse. Also, I think you guys might really appreciate my mouse pad. I'm a big fan of this mouse pad. It also is like this reminder, like, you've got a video due on the full moon, Johnny. You better put it up. Better make that deadline. I don't know where I put the little fob for my mouse. Where did I put it? I don't know. Where did it go? I think I lost it. Oh no. Okay, screw it. We're not going to do it with a mouse. We're going to do it with a trackpad. So bear with me if this takes a little longer than I'd hope. Let's start with our first one, Sydney. Now this was the one I did earlier. This wasn't the one we did together. So let's go try and find the ones we did together. Look how well those shots match up. Isn't that amazing? That is when I saw that result, this to that for the first time, that just completely blew my mind. I was like, this is going to work. I'm very excited about this. Okay, so here's Sydney. I think this is the shot we did together. And there's the shot we did together. Okay, so let's make a comp with this, new comp from selection. And then here we have our Sydney shot, tracking forward, all good. We're gonna get our other Sydney shot, the nighttime one, drop it on top. Look at that. I mean, I could even use a slider and it blends so perfectly. That's the beauty of camera transforms. You can just put them wherever you want and then do the same camera movement. It's the exact same thing. Okay, so now the only question is, did we match up in terms of timing? So I'm going to zoom in here to 100%, and let's just see if I switch the transfer mode to difference, it shows us the differences between the two frames. Like if you took the one frame and you subtracted it from the frame below it. Every value, every single color value you subtracted. We'll try and see here, like, do these two match up the entire time? And to my eye, they do. So that means we're ready to nightify. Similar to another video, the previous making of video, what we're gonna do first is Chroma Key or Luma Key the sky. So I'm gonna get this extract preset or a plugin, and I'm just gonna bring this highlight slider down until the sky is suddenly black. This is essentially like green screening the sky, but instead of screening it for green, it's screening it for gray, essentially. And there we have it. Now we're losing a little bit of the opera house. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate the shot and just cut out a little mask of sort of the portion of the shot that we want to keep, regardless of the keying. If we were to key it out with a curve, like what I'm doing right now for the whole shot, it would be a pain. So instead, we'll just do this, and then I'll turn extract off for that, and there we have it. That's come back. And now we just need to find the Sydney night sky And there we have it. That's essentially the concept. It's taken me a couple of hours at this point to get to this point, but I'm glad that we're still here, going strong, that you guys are still with me. I think it's been a few hours. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's been about an hour, 2 hours. Jeez, really been doing this for a while. Michael Schultz asks, would you call yourself an astronomy nerd or enthusiast perhaps? Yeah, I'm kind of both, an enthusiast, a nerd. And, I went to school for engineering, so I don't really have any direct astronomy collegiate certification. But I have always been interested in space and astronomy and continue to be. And this channel and this project is kind of a way for me to carve out time to learn more about the thing that I'm most interested in and curious about. Now, we still have a ton of sky glow here. So I'm going to try and get rid of it by boosting the blues in the shot. Now that's sort of working, but we still got, so I'm going to maybe drag this down a bit. Now, of course, the horizon was there. So this isn't, it's kind of looking okay. I'm going to add an adjustment layer, and maybe that adjustment layer can save us. So let's darken everything because it is in fact nighttime. Now it's summer, so we're sort of getting that sunset effect, which is a bit of a problem. I'm going to bring that down a bit. And I think, it's clearly not precisely correct, but if you were looking up toward the Sydney Opera House at this time of night, you'd see something like this. It wouldn't be exactly like this, but it's going to be similar. Let me add a little bit of a color curves to the bottom layer or to the Opera House layer, just because I feel like it's not matching the contrast of the sky. And then because we have water here, I'm going to add a reflection. So I'm going to key out or mask out this part. I don't want this. I just want the top half. And then we're going to drop that down, rotate it 180 degrees, and then change the transfer mode to add. And now we have a reflection in the water, and that's pretty exciting. I feel pretty pumped about that. That looks pretty nice. What do you guys think? Is that looking good or what? In terms of engineering, I studied aerospace engineering. And yeah, so we'll take it. This is a good enough shot. I'm going to call Sydney done. Congratulations, everybody. Well done. Thank you for bearing through to this point. Let's now move on to Delhi. So I think that was the one we did next. Let's go. Oh no, we did Jakarta next. So let's do Jakarta. So there's our two shots. Let's drop that in. Let's call this one Sydney and this one Jakarta. And then I'm going to find the nighttime shot of the same thing. Oh, that's not it. I think that's it. That's our shot. Voila. And now I'm going to turn the opacity down and just again try and match. Just good enough for government work, right? So I don't know why I didn't start moving. Oh, it was because the mouse was in the shot. I wonder if I may have redone this one, in fact. So this is 001 copy 3. Maybe we got copy 4. No? Interesting. I can't seem to get it to match up. Let's see, where did I move it off the shot? Oh no. Did I blow Jakarta? Did I break it? Should we just do it with the mouse in the shot? I don't know, man. I think we should just do it with the mouse in the shot. That's sort of sad, though, for whoever wanted to see Jakarta. Oh, gosh. Maybe we can, as yet, rescue this. I may have just blown it. Baloney. Okay, so 5 is the one we want. we're just going to do it with the mouse in the shot. This is what's going to happen. So now I'm just going to overlay them and try and get things to match up. So I'm having trouble seeing my screen in direct sunlight. Let's see. So I'm just going to move the timing of these clips until we get a perfect match during movement. So if we get a perfect match during movement, I know that the rest of the shot is going to be fine. There we go. I think that's it. Because we moved at the same velocity, right? So as long as we're moving at the same velocity, now we should be able to go anywhere in the shot, and the roads should line up. And it looks like we kind of lost it toward the end there. I might have not stopped at the right moment, so I'm just going to trim the clip to maybe like this right here. Okay, so now we have day and night matched up. What we'll do is add in our Jakarta background, the one with the Magellanic clouds. Dude, this is going to be amazing. So those two mountains, we could even line them up. I mean, that actually shows us how off I was with my pointing. But I don't know. Let me turn down the opacity and see if I can match these. This could be really cool. I'm going to change the anchor point so that it's like the top of this mountain. And then what we can do is just match the mountains and increase the scale until everything lines up. Oh, that's exciting. That's super exciting. I'm going to do the same extract command as I did down here. I'm just going to copy and paste it because it's basically the same thing. This is the one. Let's solo it. So I'm going to just mask out a little bit less of the sky. Ooh, this is going to be tricky because it's kind of hard to tell the difference between the mountains and the sky. But I think that should be fine. That should be fine, yeah. Okay. And now I can turn this up. And dude, guys, friends, look at that. I mean, the colors are weird as heck, but we can fix that, right? Let's do a duplicate of this, delete the extract, kind of like what we did earlier. Just going to put a little because we're flying horizontally, I can just mask out horizontally, and then, the horizon isn't going anywhere, basically, is my point. And then we can put a adjustment layer. One of the keys, by the way, to those who were saying, always blown away by the quality of the content, which really makes me feel very happy because I do put a lot of energy into it. One of the things that makes that possible is literally just being faster in the program and knowing all the keyboard shortcuts. And I've spent many of my days, full days, in living in After Effects. So I kind of know how to make it do what I want at this point. And I know its limitations very, very intimately. Many lost days of sleep because of issues in rendering and things like this. Okay, so we've got a kind of a very orangey horizon, which isn't going very well with these mountains. And so I think what I need to do is just decrease the vibrance of this scene, or of the sky in particular. Or maybe I just need to turn down the reds. I think I might just need to decrease the reds. Oh yeah, that's going to work, I think. We really need to bring out the blues in the shot. And, I think that's going to work. Sorry for all the oohs and ahs. I'm just very excited if you can't tell. Okay, and then let's try and again make this match. So I'm still having issues with these mountains being way too bright. So maybe we bring the top or the upper part of the curves down. I don't know, where are those on the curves? Just kind of adjusting the contrast here, trying to see if I can get it to look a little bit more natural. What if we do that? That looks terrible, right? But then what if I put another curve on top of it and then bring the contrast back? Oh, That's exciting. I mean, we can't really see the city very well anymore. But the mountains look a little bit better. I don't know. Am I deluding myself? I'm deluding myself, aren't I? Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. And what I'm going to do instead to make those mountains less gray, I'm going to add another adjustment layer. And I'm going to just select only the horizon. And I'm going to mask this horizon with a feather so that it's sort of a soft adjustment. And I'm just going to decrease the brightness over there in them thar hills. Does it look amazing? Awesome. Let's see. I've mirrored Sydney diagonally, not vertically. Oh, I just saw your comments. Thank you to Loopy Wing Rider and to Michael Schultz. I've mirrored it diagonally, not vertically. Interesting. What do you mean by that? I've mirrored it. Oh, I mirrored it. Did I mirror it the wrong way? I think I know what you mean now, but let me see. Like, so, oh, you're completely right. Wow, good point. Thank you for calling that out. I'm sorry that took me so long to to notice. There we go. That looks right. All right. You know, we could even add a water turbulent displacement thing to make it look like the water is affecting the way that the reflection looks. But honestly, do we need it? Nah, looks good enough, right? Okay, finally, let's darken this horizon. So I'm just really struggling getting those mountains to look right. But you know what? I think I'm just going to have to call it. Perfectionism is a thing that I suffer from strongly. But, you know, the antidote to perfectionism, I think, is pragmatism. It's good enough, right? Yeah, that one could be better. I think if I spent 30 minutes on it, it would look a lot better. What I'm going to do now is just parent everything to a null object, which is basically just a position and transform node. And then as we move along here, I'm going to pan upward so we can see the large Magellanic Cloud and the small Magellanic Cloud. Now, that does mess with our adjustment layers a little bit, so I'm going to make those really big. And I think that does it. There we go. Let's watch back. It's just rendering. It looks really low quality, but if you give it a second. Hello to Arya Vakaria. Woo! Welcome. So we've just nightified Jakarta. Very exciting. Very exciting indeed. I'm going to just try and do it a little bit better. I don't love the way that the colors are coming out about the Magellanic Cloud and everything. I don't love that glow either. I don't know, man. Should we just move on? I think we should just move on. So let's do that. There we go. That's my final movement. It's done. Calling it done. Very exciting. Isn't that much better? It's so much better. Okay. Lovely. Okay, so let's move on now. That's Jakarta. Congratulations, everybody. Well done. Well done. Let's go to Delhi. This one's for you. What's his name again? Such a funny name. I just can't seem to remember it. Found the lamb sauce. This one's for you. Okay, so here's Delhi. And then here's Delhi at night. And what we're going to do is just make a comp with selection. Single composition. 2 layers. I believe I did it with the mouse accidentally at some point. Oh, that was this one. So copy 7, copy 8. That's the one. Okay. So let's see if they just match up. I hope they do. It's always nice. Okay, they match up. And then, oh my gosh, I even started moving at the exact same moment. Oh, almost the exact same moment. Not exactly. Hey, fantastic. Okay, so now we have nighttime. And we have daytime. But of course, we only want nighttime, so let's nightify. We're going to go to extract. I'm going to actually do something a little different this time. I'm going to add a curves before the extract. The idea being to change the distribution of bright values and dark values to change the contrast. That's what I'm trying to say. So now there's a little more contrast. It should be possible to just lose the sky. Just goodbye sky. Now I could have done that with a mask as well because the horizon doesn't really move that much, but I'll do a mask as well just to get some of those missing details. And I'll duplicate and delete and delete. And there we have it. There's Delhi, India. Okay. And of course the sky is not made of checkerboards. So we're going to add this beautiful image of the night sky in Delhi, including, oh wait, was this the one with Orion? No, I don't think this one had Orion. Maybe not. Okay. And I think we'll do a similar sort of camera move to what we did earlier. Okay, and there we have it. To save time, I'm just going to go back to Sydney and copy the exact same adjustment layer that I had, or the exact same curves, excuse me, for the sky, because kind of Space Engine does weird things with colors, especially in the middle of the night, and I don't know why. Let's try and decrease the reds. Just try and match these colors a little bit more. So maybe that's about good. Now, what I'm seeing here is there's a lot of fog on the horizon, and then there's like no fog in my image. So I'm going to just try and make a fake fog by decreasing the gamma of this part of the screen. Does that help or hurt? I don't know. I think that makes it a lot worse. Yeah, maybe not. If we boost that a bit. Oh, there we go. Okay, I think that's working. Now we've got some haze in the horizon, but we do have as well a primordial night sky. Okay, what we're going to do now is something that I haven't been doing on the other ones. I'm just going to tint everything a little bit blue because at nighttime, things just want to be blue, you know? Like, it's just natural for us to see blue. Okay, so there's a little bit of blue. I'm going to decrease the amount of tint because this is not a black and white, black and blue footage. And maybe we'll do a little more vibrance just to bring out the colors now. Beautiful. I think that's ready. And now what we'll do is make a null object, parent everything except for that last adjustment layer, I guess, to it. Oh, whoops. Everything except for that last adjustment layer to the null. Okay. And then we'll do the same thing. We'll just, we're going forward. We're just going to slowly pan upwards. And of course, we're going to lose that adjustment layer. Which one is it? This one. Oh, which one? What are we losing here? It looks like we still have a bit of foggy sky. So I'm going to mask that out explicitly. Subtract and feather. Okay. There we go. Now the gamma of the ground is still a little bit different than the gamma of the sky. So I'm going to wiggle the curves a bit on this guy. Let's get some levels maybe. Wiggle the gamma. And that looks pretty good. Everything's way too bright now, right? But that's why we have adjustment layers. So I'm going to darken everything. Oh, whoops. Darken everything now. And maybe I'll adjust the gamma as well. Gamma is essentially contrast, but it's not precisely contrast, by the way, if anybody's wondering. I think I've said gamma about 500 times in the last minute. And there we have Delhi. Congratulations to everybody involved. Great team effort. This one's very slow, very methodical, but let's watch it back now. So what I'm going to do in a little bit after the stream is just turn on the city lights at the beginning for everything and then turn them off as the camera starts to move. So like something like this. So we have city lights on, camera starts moving. Look at that. They're turning off. It's like everybody decided just to turn their lights off at the same time. Ah, beautiful. Now, all of this falls apart, of course, if there's a full moon. But luckily today is the new moon, so that's why all this is very accurate, of course. All right, let's move on to, so this is India, Delhi. Let's move on to Phoenix. Now, I'm a little worried about the Phoenix one because as I was talking, I think I accidentally did 2 camera movements at 2 different speeds, so we might have to skip Phoenix. Sadly enough. Let's see. Is this about the same speed as this? Or that and this? We're going up. Well, let's find out. I mean, what could we lose, right? I'm going to do this one in record speed. It's 2:35. I'm going to try and get it done at 2:38. It's going to be nuts fast. Okay, let's turn that off. Do these match up? Yeah, they don't. They really don't. For time's sake, I think we might have to skip this one. Sadly enough. Maybe we can rescue it if we do some time remapping, but honestly, I don't know. Maybe like that. Yeah, no, these are just completely different rates. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. If I really had to have Phoenix, I would go back and re-record that, do the same camera movement, do it more accurately. Failure's okay, people. Failure's okay. Failure is learning. 12, 13. Here's Amsterdam. Here's Amsterdam at night. And now we will do the final shot. This one I'm going to get done by the 40 minutes at the hour. Count. Let's see there. Whoops. Boop. And then, okay, let's see if we started them at the same time. Did we start them it looks good, huh? Isn't that amazing? Daytime, nighttime, daytime, nighttime. Is that right? Oh, wait, no. Something's fishy here. It's like completely the wrong time. The wrong movement. Was it this one I did at the wrong speed? I don't know. I'm a little dubious. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do some time remapping. This one's going to be tricky. Control-Alt-T for time remap. Now I'm going to find where is a specific landmark coming into frame. So this building comes into frame it touches the edge of the frame at that moment. So I'm going to make a keyframe. And then we'll go forward up until, let's say, one of these buildings on the right maybe goes out of frame. Just something very distinct, right? There. Maybe something more distinct than that. Let's see. These boats, maybe. Let's just memorize that boat position, okay? So now I'm going to bring those keyframes together in time. And now I'll put this one at the very beginning and this one at the very end. And now we're going to do the same thing for this other layer. Try and find where that comes in the frame. Time remap. So now I'm going to move that to the beginning, to the exact beginning frame, right? So this keyframe is now exactly at the beginning, and it marks. Now we should be able to, like, yeah, those look like exactly the same camera position, right? Now let's try and find our boats. Now, I don't remember. I think it was about there, actually. Let me just make a keyframe in case, but it's like there's 1, 2, 3 boats. And then this is the tedium, the kind of tedium that I work with, man. It's rough, but it's also fun, to be honest. Let's see, where's the third boat? There's the third boat, okay. So now we should be able to time stretch this so that it's there. Now, because this is now kind of like under frame rate, it's gonna be a bit jumpy. So I'm gonna turn on this frame blending mode, which hopefully will make it a little smoother between the frames. It's not perfect, but it's close. So this is at night, and we'll fade up, or we'll fade down actually. So goodbye to the city lights. What a dream. And then let's put the night sky of Amsterdam, and I'll put that kind of like, you know, on the horizon, underneath everything. And now finally, let's extract the sky. Maybe we just do a mask for this one actually, because that's a very distinct horizon line. So subtract that, and there we have it. That's pretty good. Maybe I'll mask it. No, I don't need to mask it out at all. Look at that. Look at that. Let's do the same kind of color corrections as we were doing before. So correct. Let me just make sure there's no questions or any questions. Isn't it peaceful to watch? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sticking around. It is pretty fun to do this kind of thing. I get really excited by trying to recreate reality in in software, I suppose. I am a reality junkie at the heart of it. And yeah, when you make something in software like this, or you do VFX, you learn so much about how the actual world behaves and how light works and interacts with surfaces. It just, I think for me, it's only ever increased the amount of wonder that I feel for the world, you know? So we're going to darken things because it's nighttime now. And look at that. I'm going to decrease the vibrance a little bit just because, you know, that sky is very vibrant and it shouldn't be that vibrant. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Let's add a null object. We don't even need any adjustment layers this time. And I'm just gonna move the camera position upward until we're enveloped within the thousands of stars visible. Gorgeous. Okay. Our final shot, people. Let's watch it. Now, I will be putting all of these up in a final video, so I'll string them up and I'll upload that after this stream is done. Again, this stream will be available after we wrap up here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and making these with me. It's been a huge blast. Again, the interview with Maya Grubacek, the interview with Maurice Ohayon will both be up. Maya will be on YouTube and Maurice will be on my podcasting platform, which I think it'll be on Spotify podcasts. Yeah, I'll put a link in the description of this video. So let's take a look at our final shot. There it is. So there's there's Amsterdam and the city lights turning off. Thank you guys again for watching and tuning in for the, 2 hours? My Lord. That's intense. This has been a blast for me. This is my first live stream ever. Couple of kinks to work out for next time, but hopefully you enjoyed this. Please feel free to steal my technique. Share this with your friends. I'm going to stop hopelessly promoting myself, except to say one more time, this video was powered by Phil's Coffee, not sponsored by Phil's Coffee, but it was sponsored by my patrons on Patreon. And if you want to help support the channel, please head on over to Patreon and help it out. So stay tuned for the full edit of all this together. And until the 31st, or until the 30th at the end of this month, until the full moon, I hope you have a lovely day and a great new moon. Okay, I'm going to stop the stream now.